UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson will face a vote of no confidence in just a few hours after weeks of speculation about his job security in the wake of a Partygate scandal. MPs from Johnson's own Conservative Party must now decide to keep him in power or trigger a leadership contest. In accordance with the rules, a ballot will be held between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. South African time today. The votes will be counted immediately afterwards. Johnson has been under growing pressure after he and staff held alcohol-fueled parties at his Downing Street office and residence during COVID-19 lockdowns. More than 25 Conservative lawmakers say Johnson has lost his authority to govern Britain. To stay in office, Prime Minister Johnson needs to win the support of at least 50% of all Conservative Party MPs, plus one, totaling 180. If he does win, he is theoretically safe from such a challenge for a year, although the rules can be changed.
The Queen, who has invited me.
All right, well, Giles Gibson joins us now live from London with the latest. Good day to you, Giles. All right, let's start here. Talk to us about why this vote is indeed going ahead now, and one would have thought that the Prime Minister had recovered from this, but here it is, Partygate back to haunt him.
Yeah, that's right. And this day of feverish activity in Westminster, in London, and really potentially a turning point in the political career of Boris Johnson. Well, it started with Graham Brady, who's the chair of the 1922 Committee of Backbench Conservative MPs, announcing that he had received at least 54 letters from Conservative MPs saying that they do not have confidence anymore in Boris Johnson as the leader of their party, as well as the Prime Minister, and therefore triggering this vote of no confidence that's set to take place in around about 3.5 hours from now. And then we are expecting the 1922 committee to release the results of that vote in around 5.5 hours. As you were explaining there, what Boris Johnson needs to do over the next few hours is really shore up enough support so that he gets a simple majority, so 50% plus one extra vote from his own Conservative MPs. If he manages to do that, then under the current rules, although they can be changed, he will not face a leadership contest for at least another 12 months, for at least a year. However, if he loses this vote, if a simple majority of Conservative MPs decide that they cannot support him as their leader for any time longer, then what we are going to see is a leadership contest triggered amongst Conservative MPs. Boris Johnson himself will not be allowed to run in that contest under the rules of the 1922 committee, and then within a matter of days or perhaps weeks we would see a new Prime Minister here in the United Kingdom and Boris Johnson leaving 10 Downing Street.
Now, some Conservatives have been quite outspoken on this particular scandal. I mean, what does it look like for the Prime Minister? What are his chances of surviving this vote? I mean, 50% plus one, it seems little, but it's actually quite a lot that he needs to survive. What are his chances? I mean, if we were looking at what political pundits are saying, but also what they themselves, the Conservatives, have been saying, those who have been speaking out.
Well, I think in the hours after we heard from Graham Brady, the chair of the 1922 committee, saying that this vote is going to go ahead in a matter of hours, what you will see really is allies of Prime Minister Boris Johnson and government whips really going around the corridors of power, getting on their phones, texting, calling, trying to shore up support for the Prime Minister. At the same time, these different factions of rebels, if you like, that have developed within the Conservative Party will have been trying to shore up their support, trying to coordinate some sort of an effort to try to unseat Boris Johnson as Prime Minister and as leader of their party. There has been a letter sent by Boris Johnson to his Conservative MPs basically saying that this could even be a positive for his leadership, that this is a chance, and I'm quoting here, to end weeks of media speculation, to take the country forward as one united party. We've also seen a series of coordinated tweets coming out of senior members of his cabinet candidates. That's people like the Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, as well as the Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab, really praising Boris Johnson for what they see as his strong leadership over things like the coronavirus crisis and the war in Ukraine. So that's sort of the effort that's going on to shore up the support for the Prime Minister. But there are also undoubtedly lots of Conservative MPs who are angry about the way the Partygate scandal was handled, as well as angry about recent policy changes such as the windfall tax that was placed on energy companies by the Chancellor just days ago, and that will be weighing on their mind when they go to the House of Commons in just a few hours' time and cast their vote about, the future of Boris Johnson and his place as Prime Minister.
Those Conservatives, and I forgot the term that you used there, who aren't happy with Boris Johnson, I think you said rogue elements, or maybe that's the term I'm using there, but in any case, they must, I'm sure, be looking at someone else to lead them, and I'm particularly interested to know who that someone else is. Has that become clear at this point, or too early to tell?
Yeah, the term I used was rebel elements, but rogue could be another word that you could use.
Yeah.
And certainly they are divided into sort of different areas, different spaces. A lot of them, of course, angry with Boris Johnson over the handling of the Partygate scandal and the damage that they see that it's been done to their party and its future prospects in elections. One of the names that is being bandied around at the moment in Westminster and here in London is Jeremy Hunt. He's a former health secretary, a former cabinet minister, and he's been a very strong critic of Boris Johnson in the wake of this Partygate scandal breaking out, and the Sue Gray report with all of its sort of lurid details about the parties that went on at 10 Downing Street over the course of strict lockdown periods here in the UK. He is one name that is being bandied around. I mean, as for some of the other potential challengers, a lot of them are still in Boris Johnson's cabinet. So, you've got people like Liz Truss, the Foreign Secretary, Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor. They would all be potential names if a leadership contest goes ahead. But as I was saying earlier, we are still a little bit away from that. We still need to see how this vote plays out for Boris Johnson over the next several hours or so.
Giles, we appreciate that reporting. Giles Gibson joining us live from London there with the latest, and we'll know the fate then of the Prime Minister Boris Johnson in just a few hours. No doubt we'll have that live for you here on SABC News.